Hello everybody out there from Holy Family. Father Tyler here. Just want to let you know I'm doing very well. The sun is shining. I got a cup of coffee. I can't complain. I was raised Catholic. I went to church every Sunday with my family, was in the youth group, was an altar server, very active on the surface at least, in my faith. But the reality was I didn't care about any of it. I was just kind of going through the motions, just did it because my parents made me do it, didn't really understand the Catholic Church or the Christian faith, so didn't really care. I went to Mass, but I never got into Mass. And I had lots of, nice old women come up to me and say, oh, you'd make a great priest, but I would kind of, brush them off and just, pretend like it was nothing. And if you would have asked the 12-year-old me if I wanted to be a priest, I would have said, you're crazy. I never would have thought in a million years at that age that the priesthood would be a vocation for me. For me, there wasn't any one definitive moment that I knew I was going to be a priest. It was kind of a slow, gradual process of God revealing the vocation to me. When I graduated from high school and went off to college, I really kind of thought, okay, I'm just going to live my life. No more parents, complete independence, just do whatever I want. And that's honestly what I did. I stopped practicing my faith, didn't go to church, just was totally away from the Catholic Church and just didn't do anything in regards to, Christianity. And I just kind of lived my life and honestly did a lot of things that, I'm not proud of. When I was in college, I was studying to be a graphic artist. Also at the same time, trying to pursue a music career. I was in a bunch of rock bands. That was a huge passion of mine at the time. A little side note, there is one video of me and my band on YouTube, and if you can find that video, bonus points to you. Eventually, in college, I realized that a career in music was not going to work, so I focused on the graphic design. And eventually, I did graduate from Central Washington University. That's where I studied. And I was very blessed, got an internship and a job right away in the field. I was working at this marketing design firm in my hometown. As I moved back home with my parents while I started working, my parents encouraged me to consider going to church again, being a part of the faith. And so I slowly started coming back to Catholicism and Christianity, started asking myself questions about the faith and doing my own personal research. Eventually I started to see that there was something to the Christian faith, the Catholic Church, that I didn't see before. And eventually I started to realize that I wanted to be Christian again. The one thing that I would say that really changed my life is this nice, older woman came up to me one day after Mass and encouraged me to consider volunteering with our youth group program. Never worked with youth before, never thought I had anything to offer young people, but I decided that I would go check it out. I went to one of the youth nights and just really did not like it. I just kind of felt right off the gate that it wasn't for me, that I didn't like it. And so I was ready just to kind of give up on that. But a small voice inside of me encouraged me to continue volunteering and to actually participate and engage and see what happens. So I started to volunteer more, and I started to participate and engage myself in the youth group. And to my great surprise, I loved it. I fell in love with youth ministry. And it was the first time in my life that I really felt God showing me that there can be great joy and happiness in serving Him in the church. So I was working this career as a graphic designer. I worked as a graphic designer for 3 years, while at the same time volunteering as a youth minister. Eventually, the position of youth minister opened up my home parish, and so I applied for that, and I got it. So I started my first year as a full-time youth minister, and something happened that really surprised me. I would go to a youth night, or I would go on a youth retreat, and then I'd come back home after this event, and I would still kind of feel empty inside. I still felt like there was something missing and that I wasn't really satisfied or fulfilled, and I was really kind of I was confused. I didn't know why I was feeling this way. And so in my prayer, I got really angry and frustrated at God because I was telling myself and telling God that, hey, I'm giving my life to you. I'm serving you. I quit this really good job as a graphic designer, took a significant pay cut to be a youth minister. God, what more do you want from me? And what I started to realize is that God wanted me to give more of myself. That becoming a youth minister was only a stepping stone to something even greater. But I really didn't realize this until a few weeks of really just kind of serious prayer and discernment. Eventually, through prayer and discernment, I heard God call me for the first time to consider being a priest. And it shocked me when I heard that little voice from God, be a priest. And like a lot of young men, I immediately shoved that out of my head and said, get out of here. No, you're crazy, God. I am never going to be a priest. That's not me. I never thought that I had the gifts or the qualities to be a priest, and I thought, no, this is completely wrong. But that voice just kept persisting, be a priest, be a priest. Eventually, just kind of out of frustration, and I said, okay, God, you know what? I'm going to go to seminary and just check it out, but if this doesn't work, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. So eventually I did apply to seminary, not really with any kind of certainty that I was going to be a priest, but just honestly, just to kind of get God off my back. Okay, God, I'm going to do this, but just to make you happy, but if it doesn't work, I'm out of here. But the thing is that when I went to seminary, I loved it. I absolutely loved being a seminarian. And the thing that was really cool for me is after my first year of seminary, I was assigned for the summer to be a seminarian at this parish in South Tacoma. And it was a wonderful experience. And I was with an excellent priest who was incredibly faithful, holy priest who was just filled with joy. And just that experience of kind of job shadowing him for a summer really confirmed in me God's call to be a priest. And so by the time I started my second year of seminary, I knew, like with 100% certainty, that God was in fact calling me to be a priest. Now, this is not to say that the rest of my time in seminary was easy. There were certainly challenges and there were moments of doubt, but I persevered and I made it. And so now I'm approaching about 9 months as a priest, and honestly, I love every moment of it. It's incredibly hard and challenging, but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and just I love it. I love being a priest. I thank God every day for this vocation, and I'm just so grateful for the blessings and the gifts of priestly ministry. So that's kind of a little bit of my story, how God slowly wore me down and helped me realize that He was calling me to this awesome vocation. I hope all of you out there are doing well. Please continue to pray for your priests, and please pray for more vocations to the priesthood. We certainly need more priests in our diocese. God bless.